Hello, my friends. I hope everybody is well today. I am excited for our evening. I have some fun court for us planned, and I hope that everybody is enjoying this last Thursday before Santa Claus arrives. Apparently, the internet is busy tonight. We were doing so well, and then now, so not well. For Frozen Frames. Hi, Kelly, Courtney, Mayor, Vicky, Nancy, Sashina, Jonathan, I think, was here earlier. MB's here. Beverly Bradford's here. Streamlabs, yes, he's here. Brian and Kimmy are here. Welcome, Cellulite Yoga Pants. Yesterday was Iowa's birthday. Absolutely. We should go to Iowa's backyard critter cam. If somebody pops exclamation mark Iowa into the chat, it will pop up with the link to her critter cam. Miss Iowa, I met when I was in Florida. She is such a lovely lady. We had dinner together, in fact, and her channel is so great. She is so uh like able to just keep posting. Why can't I think consistent? She's so consistent. Whew, my brain's not working. Iowa, I think is how we spell Iowa today. Do. Anyways, Miss Iowa was lovely to meet in Florida, and she is working hard on her channel. It is literally a backyard camera shot of her house, and they get critters all the time. So if you go by there, just to say hello, that's great. Drop a like. We love that. That's a good reminder for here. Please make sure that you've clocked in for your shift by hitting the like button. That is so helpful to me, who's looking around going, where are my headphones that I'm gonna need? But I don't really need them. Um, Bev's tired today. I get that, Bev. I'm pretty tired too. I have uh, a date later on this evening. Mayor wants slots. Oh my God, it's back again. I have a date later on this evening, so it won't be a super duper late night. Um, but we will, that's why, well, it's not that early. It's like 4:20, which is perfect timing for you to tell me what strain is on your brain. Yeah, we will see how it goes. So the court that I got though is a bit of a gamble. Oh, I wrote it down on my hand. 24, 13, 22, 28. 24 was the first one. It's in four parts. Four. And just give me 1 second here while we get this going. I don't know exactly what this is, but we will find out. Aw, Brian and Kimmy, are you my date? I don't know. That would be a little crazy. Oh, okay, I will indeed. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Food's ready. I'm sure you guys can eat it. I got an Amazon package, but it's not for me. So it's not very fun at all. To be honest, it's a gift for somebody else. Anyways, okay, let's get this going. Like I said, we are watching uh this is from the First Circuit Court in Michigan. And oh, I guess it might it work? We'll see. I guess it will. Okay. I don't know exactly what it is, but we'll see as we go. I saw a part of it and it sort of seemed a little feisty between the judge and the lady, and so that made me get the rest of it. Yeah, tell me what you have for dinner. I had taco salad. That's what I made. That's what's ready to eat over there. So there's tacos and all the good stuff ready for tacos, which I might have on my face. I don't know. Um, oh, that was Judge DeSanto. I heard there was some brouhaha happening over in DeSanto's court today.
On the call, Mr. Roberts. Can you see and hear me, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon. And Ms. Robertson, I see you on the screen, ma'am. Can you see and hear me?
Yes, I can.
Great. We are scheduled today for an evidentiary hearing on issues of custody and parenting time. Are you ready to proceed, Ms. Robertson? I believe this was your motion.
Yes, I am.
And Mr. Roberts, you are ready to proceed, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I know we spent some time, about 2.5 hours worth of time talking, and I think that was time well spent. The two of you have a young child, at least one young child together, that you're going to have to co-parent for some time. That's why I spend time trying to see if an agreement can be reached. We have the family preservation track that is still an option, but I'm understanding that we do not have an agreement to proceed in that fashion. And so I'm going to ask you, Ms. Robertson, to call your first witness.
I just have myself.
Okay, please raise your right hand.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm holding the phone.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. You can put your hand down, and if you would start, please, by stating your name.
My name is Courtney Robertson.
All right, Ms. Robertson. I'm probably going to have some questions for you, but I'm going to go ahead and let you get started. What would you like me to know?
Okay, so I am the mom of Alina. I was a stay-at-home mom with her for a long period of time, since birth. And so our bond and attachment was already very strong. When she started kindergarten, even, she had a very difficult time with detaching from me and going to school. For the first 3 weeks, she would cry, and it was difficult. It was something even Dustin witnessed as well. We would drop her off together. Oh, shoot. We would drop her off together. And so we just have a really strong bond. And during our bond, I also was dealing with a lot of things that I never talked to anybody about. And so I was going through a lot in our personal life. And Alina, being a baby, she saw things all the way up until turning, well, she was 5 on January 5th. So she turned 6 this year. So for the past 6 years of her life, she's seen a lot, more than any child should ever see or witness. And due to her age, I believe that's one big factor as to why she has the feeling she has. And when I called the police recently on Dustin this past year for the first time ever, that was the first time that I've ever called the police on him. I was also 5 months pregnant. So I just felt that like I couldn't endure it any longer. I was assaulted a few times while I was pregnant, and I didn't call the police. It's just that everything was leading up to, I guess, January 5th of me just having enough. October, in October, that's when he sabotaged my vehicle. We had to go stay at a hotel the day before. He was mad.
Ma'am, October of what year? 22 or 23?
October 2022. So before January, like leading up to January. So I'm going to go back to October. That's when like the escalation was at the highest, for that year. And so from October 2023, he sabotaged my vehicle. I'm a licensed cosmetologist, and I was trying to, to be honest, it was me trying to have an escape plan. It was for me to try and find a way out financially. And so I looked into opening up a salon. I got the state to get the salon certified where I could work out of it. And as soon as I did all of that, um, or as soon as he found out that I was doing that, I believe that's why he sabotaged my vehicle again. And so when he sabotaged my vehicle, he messed with my gas tank to mess up my engine. That's not the first time that he messed with my vehicle. He's busted out my windows to my car. He's busted out my grill to my truck. I had a truck. I had a Jeep Commander. So sorry, I'm saying car. Um, he's flattened my tires on numerous occasions throughout the whole year. He busted out my tail light to the car. And not just that vehicle, I've had other cars, and he messed with a gas tank before and made it where I had gas leaking out of my car. He yanked my steering fluid line, which is the steering wheel of where you drive the vehicle. He yanked that down in September, and like made it where it was like stuck, and it was like dripping oil everywhere, and his brother even had to come over and help me like fix it back up. And that was in 2021, when he messed with my steering fluid line and yanked it from underneath my truck, like literally underneath it was hanging. And so I've been through a lot with him, even physically. He's done things to me. Everything that he has done has been in front of the children. When he busted out the window to my truck, he did that in the presence of my children. When he's thrown vacuums, he did that in the presence of my children. When he broke the table chairs to the kitchen tables, he did that in front of my children. He has stomped on on Alina's and her sister's TV repeatedly with his foot, and had to limp around with a crutch for a while from doing that. And I do want to say that alcohol is a factor with majority of all of these incidents. Um, so I mean, I I had the courage to finally call the police because in November I was stuck. He wouldn't take me to my job so I could work, like after he sabotaged my vehicle. And we went to a hotel the day before he sabotaged my vehicle because he was being very argumentative. He was pouring beer on me. I'm pregnant, mind you, and yelling in my face. And so it was Alina's idea to go to a hotel. I do have a video of that incident, but I I don't know why, but like I can't play it off my cell phone. I have to like send it through an email or something. And so me and the kids, we went to a hotel. And so after coming back on October 11th, that's when he sabotaged my vehicle. And then I was stuck from October 11th all the way until December 16th, my son's birthday. I talked to my mom and I was like, hey, mom, I really need a car. And so my brother gave me a vehicle. And so I got one of his old used cars, and my mom brought it down. So December 17th, I was mobile. Between November and December 16th, he would basically like leave and go up north because he was still working on a property up north for his sister. And he would leave us there. And I would be like, hey, we need food. We need this. We need that. And he would just totally disregard us. And so then once I got a car, right before I got a car, he was taking my prenatal pills from me and hiding them from me. I have a text message. Well, I don't have the proof or whatever.
Oh my gosh, this is convoluted to say the least. And just, I guess, exactly what a pro se custody case is in itself. The judge is not, I don't know, who's this? Liznyi, Lizznyi, Liznye. Miss Donna, thank you so much. Brian and Kimmy. But seriously, I don't know why the judge isn't reining this in. Um, Interesting. Hiding prenatal vitamins is odd, but again, if he's hiding prenatal vitamins, why aren't you hiding prenatal vitamins? Grab them from somewhere else. Y'all, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't like it.
right now, but of him admitting that he took my prenatal pills and that he would give them back to me. He just proceeded to just do little crazy things. I don't know, just yelling at me in my face. And so on December 17th, I started to leave and go to my job. I had a business in Somerset, Cement City, like right there off US 127 and US 12 in that plaza by iFix phones and a country like store that an older gal owns. So I was up in there and I would be going there to work. Well, me going there and going to work made Dustin mad. And so he just would yell at me, come home, be rude. Christmas came, and the 2 days after Christmas, he came home drunk. He literally came into my daughter's room that we were remodeling and opened the door and started banging on it, and then opened it saying, "Where's my charger? Where's my charger?" Because he was intoxicated. And I said, "I don't have your charger." This was probably like around like 1 or 2 in the morning. I do have it on record as well, this incident. And he takes all of my children's Christmas gifts that we put in the bathroom of like perfumes, colognes, lotion, stuff like that. He goes into the bathroom because in his home, he has two bathrooms, one bathroom that's by the garage and then another bathroom that's closer by the bedrooms. That was like my bathroom, the kids' bathroom. He never went in there. He had his own bathroom closer by the garage door. It was like girls, boys, but my son would come in ours sometimes. And so, anyways, he had no reason to go in the bathroom, but he goes and he proceeds to go in there. He takes everything out of the bathroom and then he literally just takes it all and just goes outside the house. And so, all those events are traumatic for my daughter. She's 5 years old. Santa just came and he's taking their gifts out of the bathroom, saying, "I'm taking your stuff. You're never going to get it back." Okay. And so we leave to go to my sister's for the holidays. We go to Detroit and I go to Southfield and Livonia area and I stay with my sisters and we celebrate New Year's to bring in the new year plus to get away from Dustin again. And so while we're gone, I'm gone probably like the 29th or the 30th. And I don't come back until when school is about to start because I have my oldest daughter. She visits her grandparents on her dad's side and visits her dad. They have a second home in Sarasota, Florida. So she'll travel for the holidays to go see them. And so she was gone for the winter break. And so I had to pick her up from the Detroit airport. And so I stayed until January 3rd, I believe, or so. And we picked her up and we came back to the house. When we come back to the house, he's basically ignoring me, kind of like just ignoring me. Just silent treatment is what they call it. And January 4th is her birthday. So we celebrate her birthday and he's not present. And birthdays are important to me, to all of us. And he just doesn't show up, doesn't come home until probably 11:30 or so. So he's just not in the home. January 4th is over. January 5th comes. January 5th, I wake up. I'm like excited, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm back getting into the groove so I can open up my salon and start getting clients because it is licensed through the state where I can work. And so I'm cleaning the house, just taking down decorations and doing all that. I clean the whole house from like top to bottom. Dustin comes home and then all of a sudden he's just like takes the laundry soap out of my hands, talking about you're not doing no laundry, you're not using no laundry soap. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay. And then I go to the kitchen and then as I proceed to go back to the laundry room, he's following me. And so I turn around, and when I turn around, that's when he shoves me and pushes me. And if I didn't catch my balance, I would have fallen. But because I'm pregnant, I do believe that I just kind of like overcame the momentum and I caught myself. Plus there was walls like kind of like to grab. And so when he pushes me, he says, "It's gonna end today. It's gonna end today. It's gonna end today." And he's like, "I'm calling CPS." He calls CPS, the hotline, in front of the children, telling them that you're gonna get you're gonna get taken away from your mom, all this crazy stuff. But anytime he's drunk, he will pretend to call CPS. He will pretend to call the police. In 2019, when he attacked me, he did call the police and told them to come because I was taking our daughter at the time because I was trying to pack to leave. And he said that he told the operator or like the dispatch people that there's a domestic dispute and she's trying to leave with my daughter and you need to come out here. And when they came out here, they found me the way that they did. So like I said, alcohol is a factor. And so anyways, he says it's gonna end today. He's pretending to call CPS. Well, he doesn't pretend this time. He actually follows through. It's a lady that answers on the hotline and she goes, "Hello, are you here to report abuse and neglect?" And he goes, "Yes." Then he goes outside and goes in his van and he's talking to them on the phone. That's when I say, "Okay, guys," because this is all done in front of Alina and my other two children. And so I'm like, "Okay, guys, I don't know if he really called CPS. Let me go see." Even though yes, I heard her voice, but I guess I just wanted that like clarification. I don't know. I really don't know. And so I go outside and it's cold outside and he has his window down because he's a smoker. And I could hear him. He was spelling out my oldest daughter's last name. Her last name is Van Wiegen and he was saying VAN and he was spelling it out. So I go back inside. That was enough clarification for me that he's talking to somebody. And I said, "I'm sorry, guys, but I have to call the police because I've had enough." And so I called the police. They came out, and that's the end of our relationship. But in 2019,
Oh, that's the end of the story, except not because I'm going to continue speaking. She has literally just done 16 minutes straight without a breath. I swear to God. This is nuts. This is nuts. Courtney with a K.
he's kicked me in my stomach, made me bleed. He's choked me. He's thrown vacuums. He's thrown the Christmas tree outside before in front of the kids. There's a lot of reasons why Alina feels the way that she feels. And um and I don't know. I'm on the other side, but she's not. And um she's been in my
Not sure what you
arms
mean.
before, and he's pushed me with her in my arms before. He's choked me with her in my arms before. Alina's always with me. Like I don't have a babysitter. I don't have no family. I don't have no friends down in Hillsdale County. I am totally by myself. Okay, like my kids are my friends, and so that is how they that's how they seen everything. Because even if I would run away from
Whoa, did she just say my kids are my friends? Like that was some excuse? This is so weird. This is so weird. Oh my gosh. Ugh. I can't believe the judge is just, again, this is because these are pro se litigants. If they were not pro se, the lawyers would be crazy. They would be, yeah, objections left, right, and center to this narrative.
him, he would run into the kids' room. So I, I I'm trying to speak from a side of just to protect my daughter. Like he is who he is, and yes, you know, he can be a good person. That's the thing. Like he can be a good person, but there's a lot more bad incidents that have happened where it's me who's protecting the children after those incidents. And then, you know, he'll buy candy, you know what I mean? He'll like we'll still have our good days, but there's still that fear that if I leave the house, Alina never would stay with her dad. It would always be like, Mom, I want to come with you. Mom, I want to come with you. Mom, I want to come with you. And so when I called the police, Alina thought that he was going to get arrested, go to jail, and she was never going to see him again because of everything that he has done to me in front of my children. And when I got a text from his mom in January talking about how Dustin wants her, Alina started crying. I called front of the court. I wanted to know what was the legalities of my situation with what I was going through. Like, is there anything to put stuff on pause? And there isn't. I've definitely educated myself on a lot of more on the DV side than I ever have in my life. And Alina has been very strong. She does go visit her dad even when she doesn't want to. She does have cousins, and to me, that's a blessing in disguise because she gets to get her mind off of her feelings and interact with her cousins and have that fun time while she's with her dad. But at the end of the day, we are here to, I believe, modify the order to what's in the best interest for Alina moving forward. I know that she's young and we have until she's 18, but the things that she's seen, the things that she's been through, her feelings are valid in my eyes. And in the Constitution, right? And the constitutional, there's rights, there's human rights, and there's federal laws and state laws. And
What? Hold on. Vicky, Carol thinks my name is Vicky. That's what's happening. I'm pretty sure. My name's not Vicky. But I think that's what's happening.
there are ways to protect Alina and myself. And I believe that today we can come up with something to move forward with the situation that we left from, because she hasn't had the time to heal from what she has gone through. And it doesn't help that he tells her things like, your mom always makes you late for school. He did that before in the beginning of like in April or so. And so I submitted, records to show that, like, I don't make her tardy. I don't do that. She goes to school. Um, he'll be out of town. He'll leave to go out of town and then just drop her off with his family. His family we only saw on the holidays when I lived there. They never stepped foot in our home for the past years that I've lived there since 2017. They never came over. So for her to just jump into a relationship with his side of the family, and I tell them, hey, Dustin's drinking a lot. Hey, Dustin's doing this. And they'll just, disregard me. In 2019, when Dustin, attacked me, all because he was intoxicated. That's when I was a stay-at-home mom and I was 100% relying on him. And it was a cold January day. And I only know this just because of my memory of the events. And he was intoxicated. He didn't have to work that day. He's a self-employed person. He works for himself. So on a really cold wintry day where they advise you to stay home, guess what? He can stay home. He doesn't have to call into anybody. And so he literally was out drinking with his buddies that day, and my daughter needed milk. She was gonna be two soon in March, and she just loved to go to bed drinking milk. And so I asked him, I texted him, I said, hey, can you go buy some milk for her? He never came home with no milk, but he came home with beer. He came home with candy, and our fridge had no milk. And so he's drunk. He's laying on the couch, passed out drunk. Like, I'm not joking. And literally just clocked over. So, it's 2019. I've dated him since 2016, and I've lived in this home since 2017. I have his mom's number. Maybe this is a time to reach out to her to be like, hey, your son needs some help. So I reached out to her. I called her, and I was, because I didn't have a car either. I didn't have a car because of things that Dustin has
Ma'am,
done to my
ma'am,
car.
I'm
Yeah.
going to interrupt you. I have to follow some protocol here. There is a court order in your file that dates to after March of 19. So did this incident happen prior to or after that date?
So the incident that I was about to talk about was that was the reason for the court hearing and stuff like that. So him
All right,
getting
I'm going to stop you right
custody
there
was
because I
because of that.
can't take that into account. I have to go from what has
Oh,
happened since then
okay. Well,
for today's hearing. Hold up one sec. Just bear with me one sec. I am going to just take a short break and I will be right back, but just regroup on that, okay? I can't hear anything from prior to the last custody order, and it is dated March 11th of 2019, okay?
Oh,
And
okay.
just bear with
Because
me.
I saw he
And
submitted.
I will be,
Okay.
well, I can't take it into account. You guys can submit what you want to submit, but I can only look at what has happened since the last order was put in place.
Right.
So bear
I was
with me
just gonna
one
character
second.
reference something.
Don't worry, we've got it all.
Character reference or not, we have to only talk about what has happened since that last custody order. So I interrupted you and I will let you get back on track. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was just gonna reference to a CPS statement. I can't. Okay. Okay.
Predates
Okay.
that date. I'm not gonna, everything else you said up until now, been hearing,
Okay.
it's after that
Okay.
date.
Okay.
But I'm gonna draw the line there because I
Okay.
cannot relitigate things that happened prior to that custody order.
Okay. Okay. So Alina visiting with her cousins and not seeing his family. That's where I like changed the subject to that incident only because I don't feel comfortable with her just all of a sudden being around those family members because they have made statements when they don't even know anything because I never have told them specifically like what was going on. I just said, he's not treating me right. He's not being nice. You know what I mean? I never gave them details. And so with things that they have said in the past in 2019, I have just been like reluctant on feeling comfortable with my daughter staying with them when he like will have her for his parenting time. And then he will just go out of town and go on a golf trip when it's his parenting time when Alina doesn't already want to go with him. And so that's what I was going to say. I don't know how else to say it without bringing up something else. So I'm just going to move on from there. But I just really need my daughter to be happy. She has seen a therapist through me, group therapy. And I was aware that when you have joint custody, you can do group therapy. And so me and her did group therapy and she was able to speak. She would tell them her feelings and I would just like be right by her while she talks. And she states that, she's scared of her dad. She thinks her dad's going to kill her because he would literally have guns and try to just intimidate me. But at the same time, it intimidates the children as well and have them just laying around the house behind him in his chair. He's done that before. And then he'll have it in the bathroom when on January 5th, when the police came. I told them that he had a shotgun in the bathroom where he would be, the bathroom that he would use, and they didn't do anything about it. They just kind of like, they were just like, oh, she's saying that there's a gun in there, but they didn't do anything about it. But there was a gun present in there at that time. And so when he came that following week, like when he got bailed out of jail, some peace officers came and I told them that I had to remove a gun from the bathroom and put it downstairs. I told them that because I've never touched a gun in my life. But I just wanted them to know that like I had to move a gun downstairs and to tell Dustin that there's a gun, his gun is downstairs, because I didn't know when he was going to come back or if he was or what was going to happen. But that gun needed to be removed from the floor of the home. But that's just what he does to try to like intimidate myself and to scare me. And I believe that like he doesn't even think about how it affects the children. And so there she's just seen a lot. She's seen a lot. Like, you know, like when he broke the kitchen table chairs, they couldn't have dinner no more at the table. I had to go and buy a new table. uh he broke the couches before by breaking them because they were like futon type couches, and he just broke them. um he, he just breaks things. He broke my Keurig machine that I got for Christmas before. He just threw it on the ground. He's ripped my wigs off my head because I like to
Not the Keurig. Oh my God. He fucking took the Keurig and destroyed it? I'm sorry. It's not funny, but she has been going on for fucking ever. Ever. Was the Keurig machine before or after the last court order?
wear extensions, and that's something that I had in my salon was extensions and wigs. And so I had a lot of those. He just would take them, burn them, put them in the burning pit. We lived on a road where it's a cornfield behind us. Throw my stuff out in the cornfield where I'll never find it because the corn's so high or the beans are just so bushy that you know you can try to find it but you won't. He's done that with like my clippers. Um, he's attacked me where my nails have gotten broken off like completely. Because I would have like acrylic on and then they just would snap right off. um you know, he's kicked me in my stomach and he like laughs about it. I have it on record where he says that he wished I bled more because I actually was bleeding out of my vagina after he kicked me in my stomach. And you know, yeah, I have endured a lot, and um I have left. I am done. I have moved on with my life. I am trying to move on with my life, and I'm also trying to co-parent with somebody right now who over the summer when Alina when his no contact order dropped, I said, hey, can, you know, Dustin has to pick up Alina. He's not here. So I didn't release her to his sister and her husband. And because of that, he then sent me a text talking about how I have to come and pick up Alina now on if I want to exercise my parenting time. So the whole summer I had to go and pick her up from the end of his parenting time and then starting my parenting time. But I tried to explain to him that I don't have parenting time, you do, and I don't have to go and get her, but because you won't bring her back, I will. So I would have to go and get her. And she literally thought that I was gonna not be able to come and get her because she knows that he sabotaged my vehicle. And so I don't have a car. Um, and so I did that the whole summer. And then I would text him and be like, hey, what about school? Do you want to just switch to Sunday at 6 p.m. because I have the baby and they're in school? He told me no. He told me that he's not switching to make it more convenient for the both of us. So I would have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and then drive to Hillsdale and be there by 5. And then or I would be in Hillsdale by 6. I would wake up at 4, but I would be in Hillsdale by 6 a.m. And then I would just take her to school driving from there. But I would have my other two children that were 12 and 13. They would be coming with me plus my infant baby. And so some nights over the summer and some nights when school started, because their school started early in August, you know, I would be tired and I would be trying to like drive and then kind of like, you know, I was put like technically like at risk when it comes to the safety of my children. But at the end of the day, I still had to go get her because he wouldn't take her to school. And so it wasn't until October 13th where that got changed. So I mean, I've been dealing with like little things from him still, where he wants to like not have no leeway and just do what's right. Um, and then I have the opportunity, or I have the opportunity of moving into a home, and it's a 3 bedroom home. And right now I stay with my mom, and I'm in my childhood home where I grew up since I was 4. So I mean it's cool, it's different, but I'm with 4 other children that are
I'm I this is nuts. I can't believe this is continuing. She she has spoken the entire time.
are now 13. My son just had a birthday on the 16th, so he's 13. I have my 2 oldest are Irish twins. They're 11 months apart. And so I have them, and then I have Alina, who is 6, going to be 7, and then I have my baby, who is 7 months right now. We're all in one room. One room. We got bunk beds, and then we have a playpen, and then we have um a futon, and then I sleep on the couch downstairs with the baby in the playpen because I can't even have a crib and enjoy my 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 child's like infant like months, because we're all in this room together, can't even open up a crib and put a crib together. And so I have this home that I was given the opportunity to live through Eve, which Eve helps with women through domestic violence. I did reach out to them when I moved back to Lansing. I was advised to do that, and I did it, and they had resources, and I got put on a list, and I got called, and um I got a house, and it's in I literally have the keys to the house, but I can't move into it until I talk to the courts, because I asked Dustin, I said, "Hey, I got a house. I don't have a car yet, but the school that they go to is a charter school, and I'm from Lansing, but we live on the border of East Lansing and Lansing, and so we went to East Lansing schools. Education is important to me and to my family. And so we literally, my mom said, you know, you're moving back to Lansing. Let's try to figure something out. How about you just put them into a charter school, and then I'll help you get them there?" And I said, okay. So I put them in a charter school because it's K through 8th, and that puts them all together. So we're driving from my mom's house all the way to um, the west side of Lansing, is kind of like what they would say. It's probably like a 10-minute
I'm
drive.
going to interrupt you again because I'm trying to follow this. Would this move to this new house involve changing the kids' school?
Yes, it does, because I don't have a vehicle. So I'm living at my mom's house, and my mom is the one who's taking them to school every day. And so with my mom taking them to school every day and me riding with her, um I did get a job, so I have a job. And I've been working at the job since the week of Thanksgiving, and my mom's been taking me to my job as well, and then taking us to the school. But I have a house, and I asked Dustin, I said, this was before I
Where
got
is
a
the
job.
house at?
Excuse
Where
me?
is the house?
So the
Where is
house,
the house?
so
Yep.
the house, the house is on the south side of Lansing. It's actually closer to Dustin's address if he were to like put in the Google of how to get to his house to this house. So it's on the south side of Lansing. My mom lives on the east side of Lansing, and then their school is on the border of the east side and the west side right now. So if I asked Dustin, this is in October.
The border of the east side and the west side. In the middle. That's in the middle. Isn't that just in the middle between east and west? Oh my God. Wow. I think I'm having slight flashbacks to the fact that I myself can sound like this sometimes. I feel it. I know it in my bones that I have talked like this before. Oh God. Not tonight, luckily, but I don't know. I don't know if anybody else talks in it, Vicky. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know that they do. I'm a little shooketh. Oh God, could you imagine if she was working on your hair and nails and just talking to you the whole time? Oh dear.
So they started school in August. I got approved in October. I said, "Hey, Dustin, I finally got a house and now I need to change their schools to the neighborhood schooling. I know that this is a lot on my children, but this is also due to the circumstances of being evicted by Dustin."
Thank you, MB. Love it. Welcome to the club, friends. We do members only on Sunday evenings. Um, this Sunday evening is going to be a special Christmas Eve edition. But what this lady is literally talking me into a bit of a headache, in fact. Um, she does think she's making sense, girl. That I think is true. She believes, oh, the prime meridian. Prime meridian, there it is. But seriously, she believes that she is making sense here. And again, thank you, MB, for the gifts, the gifted memberships. Love it, love it, love it. Um, yeah, let's keep listening. Well, I don't know if anybody else talks. Jonathan as well, gifting. Make sure that you guys have gifts turned on, please. Thank you, Jonathan. Yeah, seriously, actually, it's about time to grab another drink. I had cut myself off of pop for today. I was like, that's enough, Paisley. That's fucking enough. But I think we've all earned ourselves one drink. Um, I just, this is nuts. I don't know if there is how to turn, if there's a link to turn the gifts on, or if you do it. When I went to the channel page earlier myself, it was like, did you want to join the membership? And I was like, sorry, did I want to join my own channel? No, I thought I had already joined it by de facto, but no. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab a drink.
Dustin did not have to evict us. He did not have to evict us. Him evicting us, I know it was retaliation because I'm literally pregnant, due in May, and then I'm being evicted out of the home. And my children, my oldest, they were in Jonesville schools since they were in kindergarten, first grade. They had to leave their seventh and eighth grade friends behind. And that was hard for them. Alina's in kindergarten, so she doesn't have a true establishment of school, but she still had friends that she has made. But my oldest two, I believe they were affected the most. And so, yes, we had to switch their schools immediately because they had to stay in school. And then
Okay.
now that I have my own house, I need to move on with my life.
Following. I'm following. So he wouldn't agree, and so you've not been able to move, and that would
No,
make
so I'm not able to move, and Christmas is coming. It's not okay.
Well, I'm understanding what you're trying to say is my point. And you can go on to what else you want me to know.
Hold on, she's crying now? She finally cries? She sheds a tear now? This is fucking gold. Okay, I'm grabbing a drink. I'll be right back.
Tell you what, let's just take it. I'm going to take another break.
Tell you what, I don't have fucking even a minute to do it. I have to fucking start the next one because they took so many breaks. Then I'll get my drink.
Here, you just compose yourself. I know,
Okay.
and I'm happy to pause when we need to, and I just want to give you a minute so that you can go ahead and finish telling me what you want me to know.
Okay. So I got a
Are you joking? No, I swear to God, I thought she was done. That's not fair. How did she go so quickly? Oh, Mayor! Mayor, thank you so much. You guys, you're amazing. Um, I'm grabbing a Coke. I can't believe she's letting her talk more. Fucking cannot believe this.
approved for a home and October 13th, I thought we were going to have the court hearing, but we didn't. I wasn't approved 100% then, but I signed the lease on October 16th. So I've had the house since then. I asked Dustin, he told me no. He told me that she could go back to Jonesville schools or stay there at the school that she's at. And I said that I can't do that because I don't have a vehicle and my mom's not going to pick me up from my house and my kids and take us all the way to the school and then drop me back off at my house. Um, and so because of all of that, I'm still at my mom's. I did take all of my stuff out of storage that I've been paying for storage for, and I put it all in my house. So me and my kids will go there and like kind of get stuff together, and that's what's just like what we've been doing. Um, but I did get a job because I need to make money. He's not paying child support on time, so I mean, just with just with having a baby, moving to my mom's, getting a house, then not being able to, I still need to be financially secure and have stability of something. And so I started working and I'm not doing nothing career wise. I'm just working at a daycare because it pays for my son's spot, where I can just work to make some money for Christmas.
Girl, we all have to make money for Christmas. That's how fucking life works. Why is she fucking whining? I'm so done. I'm so done.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna cry.
Where are you working?
I'm working at a daycare.
Okay.
Um, it's just in my back.
What? I'm sorry, what? You're a fucking cosmetologist. Isn't that something that can make good money? Oh yeah, and a cell phone repairer at a country boutique and now a daycare. Oh my God. Oh, Miss Carrie, you're too fucking sweet. You guys are amazing. I'm I don't know who these people are, but I'm so happy that they're part of the club now. Make sure if you're watching this sometime. Look, Flusha got one. It's so funny. I love it though. You can't watch everything all the time. You can't. But wait, where's my drink? Okay, I got another Coke because we gotta settle in. She's crying now about it being Christmas. Yeah, tell me about it, bitch. I just bought this for my daughter. This is like I spent more money on a charging case for her AirPods that she lost than I've ever spent on my own headphones. Isn't that funny? but you do the things for your children that you wouldn't do for yourself, obviously. Oh, Miss Carrie again. Oh, look at all these names. So exciting. I love seeing some of these. Thank you so much, Miss Carrie. To everybody who has gifted membership tonight, that's my favorite way of uh dealing with YouTube Daddy and you guys all together. I thank you so much. Um, Carol's saying, let's give Courtney a gold medal for being an adult person. Well, I would like a gold medal then, because I barely am an adult some days too. What is that shirt Mikey has? Oh, says something like barely adulting or something like that. Anyways, let's keep watching because we're gonna have to finish it off. And I'm sorry to say this is not even the last clip. There's another probably hour and a bit. Miss Carrie again. Oh, Phyllis, welcome. Phyllis, please come say hi sometime. I'd love to meet you. And thank you, Miss Carrie. Um, for all the adulting, right? Gold medals. That's us. Ah, again, Iowa Kimberly. See, I know her name too. We have to. Miss Carrie, I love it. Uh, we have to obviously pay homage to to Credence and Mikey because those are a lot of OGs from their channel. So I have to say thank you for the love that they always pay us over here. I am still working on becoming the West Coast correspondent for late night chases when both Credence and Mikey are sleeping in their beds because they're old men on the East Coast. And I think we could do that. I think together like one of them might get up, but at least we could give them a little bit of wiggle room and cover more of the West Coast late chases together. But one day we'll just have to slide that idea in with Mikey um over time. I'm willing to play the long game with that. I'm sure we'll wear him down eventually. Okay. Plus I'll do it for free, right? Like let that be clear. I'll do it for free. All right. Let's and then watch what might happen one day. Maybe will I ever move to the oh again, Miss Carrie. Jeez. Julie Vanderhaas Janssen. Thank you. Oh my God. I love it. It's amazing. We actually are. I love it, Jack of Hearts. As your agent, hashtag not your agent. I strongly recommend you get paid. LOL. Um, yeah, that's one of those like labors of love. LOL, if you will. A labor of love. And something that I would just love to do. Anyways, okay, let's continue watching her cry, her Oscar worthy. Think do we think this is Oscar worthy? I don't know. I haven't been drinking any wine. None at all. None at all. Just Coca-Cola. Oh, there. There's the fresh Coca-Cola, which we'll drink now.
Background. My mom's owned a daycare my whole life, so this is in my background.
Can you bring the baby there with you?
I can.
So that's a good setup.
So it just evens out the pay kind of in a way.
Okay.
So, but my job is close by my house. So I would be able to take the bus to work, and then my kids could take the bus system to school. And my daughter will be 14 on January 4th, and then my son's 13 already. So I have my daughter who's 14 who can be at home with Alina, if I work till 5, because I work till 5:30. And so for that hour and a half or so, they would be together and then I would be home. But my job is willing to work with me, and let me get off early if I have to make everything work out. Because recently, last week, I had a dilemma. My mom, she has a boyfriend. He lives an hour away and she wants her vehicle. And so I couldn't go to work because my mom was gone and I had to have my brother help me take the kids to school. So, and then my son actually caught RSV too. So we were stuck.
Oh my God. Chris Engelby, thank you so much. Okay, hold on. Is she crying about her mom's boyfriend who took her away from what I can only imagine is just like the most amazing place to be, which is hanging out with her all night? Not. Oh my God. That's nuts. Yeah, and Donna, that's a good question, by the way. Is this, in fact, um, her baby? No, it's her baby, but is it his baby? Right? Is it? I don't know. Thank you again, Chris Engelby. I know you're working hard over these next holiday days, and I am so glad that you found some time to stop by and say hi. Um, yeah, mom's boyfriend took her live-in babysitter away, more likely. That is so much more likely, I think. She birthed the baby. No. You guys are crazy. Oh my God. And I'm eating my taco salad, by the way.
Because of him breaking out in hives and had to go to the emergency room. So it was just a crazy week, but it just proves that like I can't rely on my mom. I have to move on with my life.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Can I ask you a couple questions and then I'll let you continue with anything else that you needed to say, okay?
Okay.
So the parenting time schedule that you have been following has been going on since when? When did Mr. Roberts start exercising parenting time with your daughter?
Since January 13th.
Okay. And has it been every other weekend this entire time?
Yes, every other weekend and every Wednesday.
Okay. And before you moved because you moved to Lansing around May, is that correct?
Yes. I moved to Lansing April. We had our court hearing on April 17th for the ex parte, and then he said that he was evicting me, and he told the courts that, and then he did follow through, and I was served on April 18th, and then I moved that weekend.
Okay. And did he pick Alina up and take her for the weekend and then take her back to school?
So literally April 20th is when I changed my addresses and got the schools all situated where I could enroll them and figure that all out. And my oldest two were in middle school at Jonesville, and they were taking a standardized Michigan testing. And in order for them to get into,
They were taking the SMAT, Standardized Michigan Admissions Test, academic test. No, I made that up. She has every little, she literally, she has something to say about everything. Always a story, always extra. It's nuts. By the way, if you're just getting here, clock in for your shift, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn gifting on. Those are your requirements for today, please. Victoria B.
to the school of Windermere, they had to finish that because Windermere was doing it too. So we actually had to stay the next full week at the house, even though over the weekend I moved everything out. And so because I moved everything out, I had a couch, I had dining room tables, all the plates, the cups over the years. That's all me. I'm the one who has made the house into a home. But I kept Alina's bunk bed there. I kept her toys there. I kept her dresser there. Um, I tried to keep her room the same. I don't want to traumatize her because I knew that she was going to have to come back there, and
Okay.
because of waiting for
But
court.
and I appreciate that extra information, but my question was he picking her up and then taking her to school on Monday?
Yeah, so that Wednesday he had her, the first day that he got her was um May 3rd. May 3rd was his first pickup for Alina because I had to go the next full week staying in Jonesville. So
That's
their
fine.
last day of school was um April 27th, and then April 28th was their first day of their new school. And then that weekend was my weekend. And then that Wednesday, he had to go and pick her up. But he found out where she was in school. So, like, I had the baby on May 1st in the hospital. That was the day of my eviction court date, too. So I literally had the eviction court date and was having the baby at 2 o'clock in the morning. So Alina went to school on Wednesday, May 3rd, and I told her that I've been in contact with your dad and your grandma. Well, not her dad because there's a no contact order. It was her grandma. Her grandma reached out to me and said, Dustin knows what school she's going to, and he's going to be picking her up, and he already called the schools. And so that just, my attorney at the time was Dr. Sager, and he told me that I didn't need to reply to his mom's text.
Her attorney was Dr. What? Is that what she just said? I am so reluctant to go back. But, and Jonathan Miller, we have watched hundreds of protective orders, hearings. I personally have, anyways. And for the most part, somebody doesn't do that lightly. They are in a serious situation. It's difficult, etc. But just because somebody talks a lot doesn't mean that it's not true. However, there's a lot of filler going here. But let's see. So, baby, like, honestly, I swear to God, I think she said that. Let's see. Let's listen and see.
Her up, and he already called the schools. And so that just, my attorney at the time was Dr. Sager, and he told me that I didn't need to reply to his mom's text, but just be ready to tell Alina that her dad's going to be picking her up after school to resume parenting time, not at Jonesville no more, but in Lansing. And so I told Alina, like, hey, your dad's going to be coming to get you Wednesday after school. And so because also on April 17th, the times got changed from 6 p.m. to 3 p.m. And so with that being said, Alina, I had to tell her, like, after school, your dad's going to pick you up right after school. That's when I submitted those pictures where you have like 5 different colorful pictures. And then on the back, I wrote about it. That was the day I just had my baby May 1st. I got released from the hospital on the 2nd. I literally, she was, loving on the baby, happy, happy, happy. Get ready for school, new uniforms because they have to wear uniforms, happy, happy, happy. But as soon as we got to the school and she realized that like she had to go back because she told me when we moved to my mom's, she was like, we're gonna be safe now. My dad's never gonna know where I'm at. And I told her that he might find out where we are. Like, I've always been honest with her. Okay. And so
That's my question. Now I'm asking questions now, and I'm going to try to keep us on track. If we keep at
okay.
this pace, we're never going to get through this. So what I'm getting at is he drove to Lansing and picked her up and took her to school the following morning, correct?
Correct.
He did all that. You testified a little while ago that at the end of the summer, you were the one that had to pick her up and take her to school.
Yes.
That was his responsibility. Did you call the friend of the court?
Yeah, yes, I did.
And what were you told?
That I had to follow the order and that I'm so
It
sorry.
it was his job to pick up for his parenting time. So I'm
I
letting you
know.
know.
I tried to tell a friend of the court that. I did. I tried to tell him. I've been trying to tell friend of the court everything.
Okay. And so our friend of the court told you that you had to transport?
A friend of the court told me that I have to exercise my parenting time too. I went there and I spoke with them in person about why do I have to pick her up when I don't have a car that he sabotaged. And she said, well, you have to exercise your parenting time just like he does. And I said, I don't have parenting time.
Right, so you
And
have custody.
it was with Miss
Who did you talk
Katie
to?
Toledo.
Okay. I will follow up on that. So since like this, when whose weekend was last weekend?
Last weekend, I'm sorry, I'm just like having like a blur right now. Last weekend, she was with him and she's supposed to be with me this weekend, but
Okay,
it's
I'm
the
not worried
holiday
about that.
weekend,
I'm
so
talking about last weekend. So last weekend, did he come and pick her up from school?
oh yeah, so since October 13th, when you when you asked him that question, does he want to drive to go get her? He's been back to driving and picking her up and everything.
Okay, so this time when you were doing the transporting went on from the end of August to October 13th.
No, it went from the summertime. Like as soon as I denied his parenting time because he didn't show up, because the language of what was read or what was wrote was the parent that is exercising parenting time shall pick up the child. And so when he got off of
You guys, I want popcorn so bad. Oh my God. I'm trying to think if I have popcorn. I don't think I do. So sad.
the
Okay,
no contact order, I I was just reading off because the no contact order dropped in June. And so when he started his rotation, I literally was going by that. And so when his sister showed up, a person who has been rude to me and said mean things to me, I don't feel comfortable releasing my daughter to you. She doesn't feel comfortable going. And so I didn't release her. And when I didn't release her, that is when he said that I need to start picking her up when it's my time.
got it.
And so
Okay,
I went to front of the court and because actually my kids had a dentist appointment in Quincy because I was still keeping their dentist and trying to keep their 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 dentist stuff going for the summer. And so I was actually in town that day, that Monday that he would have had her, but he didn't because it was a Sunday rotation. And so I went to front of the court and I talked to them and I spoke with them and I said, I'm not supposed to be doing this. And so she told me that he can ask to request me to pick her up. And then that following week, I picked her up after him. And then when school started, I have text messages over the summer because I was trying to be prepared for school and be like, hey, so what are we going to do about school? Because I didn't, if, if he wasn't going to come get my kid, I will figure out how to come and get her. And so I
great.
wasn't arguing with him. I just accepted it and I did it.
Oh, I don't believe that for one instant. This woman, I do. I believe that she doesn't think she argues, just like I don't think I argue. But damn, can we talk? I feel bad. And here's the thing. I don't even know what the deal is, like what she wants. She hasn't even said that. Like that's the problem here is that it's not even clear exactly what she's asking for at this point. Um they she's just I do want popcorn really bad though. Like part of me is like really inventorying the whole pantry right now in my head, going like, where is the fucking popcorn?
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. So your daughter has had ongoing regular contact with Mr. Roberts since January when he started exercising his parenting time, right? We've just established that.
Yes.
And was some of that parenting time supervised by a DHHS worker?
No.
It was not. There was like a Michelle Gallipo that may or may not have been assigned to this case. You don't know who that
Oh,
is?
she was assigned. There was no supervision though, but she was assigned to the CPS case just to go do well checks, I guess they would call it.
Okay. And do you know if that happened?
So my caseworker that I kept in contact with, her name was Latoya, and she told me that the caseworker, Michelle, only seen Alina one time. And it was the first time that
Like, what level of hearsay is this? You can't testify to what Latoya told you from what she supposedly read in a report that is confidential or a system that's confidential. No. No, 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 no. No. Yeah, who's making the popcorn run? Oh, popcorn.
she seen her.
I'll also settle for s'mores if somebody wants to, if somebody would prefer to provide those. I'll take s'mores.
And so that's all that I know. And that's all that Alina's told me. Because I mean, Alina told me she only met this lady one time.
Okay. And I reviewed exhibits for today, and I haven't admitted any of them, but I know you're both self-represented, and I have been provided with a letter that purports to be from Michelle Gallipo from the DHHS of Hillsdale County, where she says, my title as a courtesy worker, job title is as a courtesy worker, it was to conduct home visits with the father, Dustin Roberts, once a month to ensure his home was safe and provided a nurturing environment for his family. At every home visit, the home was observed not to have safety concerns. Home visits occurred between July and December of 2023. At the initial home visit in July, I witnessed Dustin and his daughter, Alina, interacting. It was apparent Dustin and Alina have a positive and beneficial father and daughter relationship. Alina appeared to be comfortable in her father's care.
Do you think that she's saying Alina on purpose? Because she said Alina the whole time. Oh, it's killing her. She's not even hearing it, I bet. She's literally not even hearing her because all she's thinking is, that's not how you say it. 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 That's not how I did it. That's not how I did it. That's not how I meant it. That's not how I wanted it.
Care. Dustin has always been cooperative, respectful, and willing to be compliant with all DHHS requirements and recommendations. On October 23rd of 23, he successfully completed a psych eval. The results were deemed normal. So do you take issue with that? It looks like maybe she was there one time when your daughter was there.
Okay, so yes, he sent me a screenshot of that yesterday, and I went to the Department of Human Services. I went there yesterday because I was blown away by what she wrote, just for the simple fact that like she's only seen my daughter one time, and Alina has sent a picture of the refrigerator being bare, and Latoya was supposed to go back and talk to Michelle about it. And I honestly don't know if they took care of it. I have been honest with Latoya, and I told them that I feel like they're dropping the ball with my daughter. I did tell her that because it was me who suggested the mental eval. It was me who suggested therapy for us. And I tried to suggest, him take some classes or him do something, but they said because he already took classes with his earlier convictions, he didn't have to. And so, I mean, it is what it is. But I don't like the part where they say that he's deemed normal because
Okay.
nothing's normal about what we're going through. And so I went there and they
Oh my God. Oh, wow. I mean, this is actually a little disconcerting, I'll say. Disconcerting entirely. Also, can't wait. Part of me is like, ooh, will my date somehow bring s'mores tonight? Come on, Paisley. Like, that's gonna happen. But wouldn't that be cool? Oh, Brad and Kimmy getting donuts. Get the popcorn too. I want s'mores. Um, I like Sour Patch Kids with my popcorn, to be honest, or salt and vinegar dressing, like seasoning. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but if I have to tell him cellulite yoga pants is that, I don't know, am I being too much of a woman? Like, oh, I'm just hinting. Too I can't hint. Mm.
and they told me that they were going to follow up with that because that lady was just to oversee Dustin and go to the house and then report back to Latoya.
Would you like me to have her subpoenaed and bring her in to testify so that you can ask her questions?
Like who? Michelle?
Michelle Gallipo that wrote the letter.
Sure.
Okay. Um, so your daughter, is she reluctant to go for these visits? How does she, what makes you think that she is not comfortable being at her father's?
Okay, so on her first day of school at her, or not her first day of school, but on her first visit with her dad at the new school.
That sounds delicious, Mayor. Maybe I'll put that on my Amazon wish list, which I posted yesterday in the description of the video. But maybe I will send a, hey, hint, hint, I want s'mores message.
School, which was in the first week, on May 3rd, when she drew all those pictures. I just had the baby on the first, and so
That's a good one too, Chris. Hmm. My goodness. You guys are so sneaky.
took them to school for the first time, and when I did, she realized that she had to go to her dad's. And she broke down. She started screaming. She started crying. She started pulling on me, like where she wanted me to like pick her up. And then she like literally, um, sure. Um, she, I'm sorry. Hold on one second. Thank you. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So she
Has she been in a public waiting room the entire time doing this? Is that what's happened here? She's been in a doctor's office and she's just been taken back to the next room in the doctor's office. So are you telling me that she was sitting in the regular waiting room, holding her phone down there like that, just fucking blabbing her entire business and life? Oh my God. When I tell you I would miss a doctor's appointment so fast, like, I can't. I can't even. Oh my God.
She she broke down, she was crying, she was like screaming. She was saying, no, mom, like screaming, don't leave me. I don't want to go
So,
back to
ma'am,
my dad. I don't want to
so
keep
ma'am,
doing
just to
this.
interrupt,
This
I know I'm interrupting.
okay.
That was the first time that she was going to have to go see her dad after you'd moved to the Lansing area, correct?
But she already didn't want to go from
I
January
understand.
13th all the way to then.
Since then, from May until now, how have
No, no,
things,
no, no, no. She didn't want to go from January 13th.
I know, I'm asking you
Oh,
from May until now. So like last week when she went, or 2 weeks before that
yeah,
when,
yeah, yeah.
how
Yep,
is
she
she
doesn't want to
acting?
go. Yep, she doesn't
Well,
want
what
to
does
go.
she
And
do?
she keeps
What makes
telling
you think
everybody
that?
that. Huh? Why
Okay,
do I think that?
yeah, what does she do? What makes you think that?
Well, she tells me.
She says, Mom, I don't want to go.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And when dad comes to pick her up, she gets in the car and goes.
So it's changed to 3 p.m. pickup. So he picks her up from school. So there is no interaction with us. And that's something that I like I
Lady, that is in fact been developed to prevent this, to allow for a clean transition from both parents without interference of one. And if you go ahead and say right now that you don't believe that that's the way it should be, you're going to lose a lot of credibility with me because it's just common sense that that would be the easier way to do that transition. Seriously.
Okay. And
I
when you see her again on Monday after school, right? That's the next time you see her after a visit.
yep.
How is she? Is she glad to see
I
you?
ask her, I say, hey, how was your time? And she'll be like, she'll be like, it was okay, it was fun, but she calls me. I did get her a cell phone. And so I am allowed to communicate with her while she's gone, and I do believe that that helps, per se.
Absolutely. And that
But
should. Do you have any reason to believe that he has been violent with her when she has been in his care since May?
violent, I mean, no, but psychological, like messing with her mind, yes.
And that's about that you would pick her up late or take her to school late, saying those kinds of things?
No, he would just say things like, he would talk about me, tell her that your mom's a bee.
Okay.
He would tell her that
He,
I'm gonna be getting
because
full custody of you.
he told
And
you.
when he knows that she doesn't want to go, and then tell her like I'm gonna get full custody of you and your brother. Um,
Okay. She's told you that he said those things to you, to her.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Do you believe that he is using alcohol when she is in his care since last May?
She has told me that he has 2 times. She's seen beer, one in a cup and then one behind the couch. I did bring this to CPS's attention.
How
Um,
how recently, ma'am?
uh, I don't know. I honestly, I'm not sure. I would have to
Okay, but you
ask.
remember 2 times, you can say.
No, yep, it's only been 2 times that she has said something.
All right. I'm going to take a short break. I'm going to let you think about whatever else you want me to know, and then I'm going to let you wrap this up, okay?
Okay, I appreciate it.
All right, no problem. Take a short break again, and I'll be right back.
Oh, we have one last clip of this for the evening. It's the longest one of them all. And yes, I did write the order on my hand, which is how I am keeping track. And the child is 5. Yeah, young child. Young child.
What else did you want to be sure that I knew?
That's basically it. I mean, that she just doesn't want to visit really.
Okay. I had one other question for you. Has she had individual counseling, your daughter, or has she just had the group counseling that you referenced?
Just group because I heard that you can't do individual without having both parties agree.
Or a court order?
Oh, okay.
Do you think that she would benefit from individual counseling?
I think so, but it's just all about being serious, like about her feelings being validated, I
Okay.
think, more than anything.
I have reviewed all of the psych evals that were prepared by Dr. Haugen. The ones for
I didn't
you,
get Justin's copy though.
I'm asking my office. I heard that, and we're going to make sure you get copies. And this
Oh,
hearing is going to continue, so it's not going to be resolved today anyway. You'll have a chance to see them. I don't know why that was the case, but we'll make sure that you get one. But what I was going to say is, both yours and Mr. Roberts indicate a need for co-parenting counseling, is what Dr. Haugen references specifically for the two of you, so that the two of you can co-parent. It also references Mr. Roberts getting counseling, and in your daughter's psych eval, it talks about her getting counseling. And it sounds like you are on board with that, that's something that you think could help her as well, correct? As long as she's serious about it.
yes.
Okay. All right. Thank
Hi, Tommy, V, and MI. Tommy, this is from your neck of the woods, my friend. This has been particularly harrowing to watch. Why are Michigan divorces so difficult? Right? I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, welcome. Thanks for being here. Make sure you clock in for your shift. Um, we will we hear Dustin speak? I don't know. Will Courtney be quiet? I don't know. These are the questions that we have. Um, I am just baffled. I'm like literally like blown away by how long this judge has let this go on and by how this lady has basically like filibustered this hearing. And Aquanet, I believe you. I don't think that that's it's just anecdotal evidence because we watch a lot of Michigan judges. It's probably because it's the same reason that Georgia, it's not any more dangerous than anywhere else, but we watch hearings from Georgia all the time. Same with like certain states are just the bread and butter of LawTube, and Michigan is one of those states for divorces, right? And it's honestly how they engage in the open courts concept. That's what I'll say.
you. Um, You are the only witness for today. I know I mentioned that I may subpoena some others, and we'll worry about that at the end. But for now, I'm going to now turn to Mr. Roberts. You both are representing yourself, and I'm going to be a little bit informal about this. But now, typically, Mr. Roberts, would be a time if you had questions for Ms. Robertson that you could ask them. I will be the intermediary. Do you have any questions that you want to ask her? Otherwise, I'm going to go to you and have you go ahead and testify. So it's not a time for you to respond. It's a time if you have a question. Do you understand?
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
Did you want to
I,
ask her something?
yes, I just have a question for her. I guess for Miss Robertson is, when is the last date? She seems to have a lot of the dates written down that I was allegedly drinking and driving with the children, and also when I allegedly Alina witnessed me consuming alcohol or anything else in that nature.
I think she's already testified.
Okay, it's always interesting to me how people react when they're finally given their turn after this woman was basically let to just fucking speak her mind. Um, first of all, it's a question, so he gets a point for that. Um, it is a little far off. I don't even remember her testifying that much about that. So, but obviously it's a sticky point for him. it's just interesting because it's all you can see what is important to people, what they question first. Usually the way the judge puts that is by trying to make him say, no, I don't have any questions, I just want to testify, because she just wants to get it over with. But he's got these questions and we'll see how they go. I was not expecting that voice, but I don't know what I was expecting. I don't know.
That she couldn't remember the date, but I'll ask her. Ma'am, do you have a specific date that you know that Mr. Roberts was drinking while driving with your daughter, Alina?
Okay, so Alina said that during spring break, which spring break was the beginning of April, it was before ex parte hearing. She told me that him and some of his buddies, they were drinking in the car. That's all that she's ever told me. And I believe Dr. Sager brought that up at the ex parte hearing.
Okay. And I think his next question was a little different than that. What was your next question, Mr. Roberts? When was the last time that you were drinking around your daughter?
Yes, when would be the last day that I guess that our daughter went home and said to Miss Robertson, "Hey, Dad, I seen Dad drinking today,"
Well, I know that it's documented when it was said, because I told Miss Latoya when Alina told me that she saw beer cans in the house and behind the couch. And so everything's documented with CPS. I did follow up with them because I mean, we're waiting for court.
At time of year, do you remember, was it last summer? Was it last spring? Was it just this last fall? Any idea?
No, it was this fall. This fall. It was sometime between this fall and now. Yep.
Okay, that helps. Thank you. So it's sometime this last fall, Mr. Roberts, that she has heard that there was continued alcohol use in the presence of the child. Any
Correct.
other questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Roberts, who all do you have to testify today?
I just have myself.
Okay, I'm going to get started with your testimony. We are not likely to finish. I'm probably going to get about 15 minutes in, and then I'm going to talk to both of you about what we're going to do next. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down, and if you would begin, please, by stating your name.
Name is Dustin Andrew Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts. Go right ahead, sir. What would you like me to know?
Well, I would like to know, Your Honor, I would like the court to know, Your Honor, that I do agree with Miss Robertson. I was arrested, and I know that we've went over this also in April, but I was arrested for domestic violence. I came to a resolution, my counsel and the prosecuting attorney's office came to a resolution of a drunken, disorderly person. I had classes and requirements that were asked of me by not asked of me, told to me by the Hillsdale County District Court. I successfully completed a class on understanding anger management. I also successfully completed courses with Pam Peterson at Catholic Charities for substance abuse. And on April 17th, your court, Your Honor, had advised Ms. Robertson that on May 1st that she was already, that when she would have the baby, that the court advised her to let me know, which she did on May 1st, which she did not let me know. However, the same day, she did go through mediation in Hillsdale District Court for eviction process, even though she had already moved out of my home prior to. That was all conducted on May 1st, but this ex parte motion, which she has said in her statements that she was served on April 17th for eviction, that is inaccurate. She was served on March 10th, which the counsel, Mr. Keith Stickley, is who took care of that. I'm sure has a proper correspondence that we would be happy to provide the court. And then a week later, on March 17th, is when Ms. Robertson filed this ex parte motion. It was way prior. She was served on the 10th, and then she filed the ex parte motion on March 17th. And then once we had court on the 17th of April in front of you, Your Honor. The only changes that you had made to the existing order at that time were that on my weekends I would be allowed to pick up our daughter at 3 p.m. from school on Fridays, and that the other thing, that neither party shall use drugs or alcohol while in care of the minor child. I am following all those orders, but I find it, as far as the timing, just like on May 1st, Miss Robertson has said she had the baby. She went through the eviction process. And then on May 4th is when this first anonymous tip comes into the CPS portal. And there's a record of that. I believe it was Exhibit A that Miss Robertson's past representation had provided the court, and I also provided a copy, that basically her days, the days don't add up. So on May 4th, this tip comes in through the portal. CPS does not act on that tip. They wait until May 17th because the exact tip, word for word, came in to the portal again. Since then, they opened a case. I cooperated. I've done everything that the courts have asked me, including the Department of Human Services. Obviously, with CPS, that is, I'm assuming it's a volunteer basis until it is court ordered. And I've been very transparent with everyone. I'm not trying to downplay my contributions to this toxic relationship. However, we're just a little over 2 weeks away from this being a full year since we have lived together. Our daughter is, Miss Robertson keeps alleging that our daughter is having nightmares and wetting the bed. She is not having those issues at my house. She has wet the bed probably over the last 50 weeks during my time, maybe 3 times. And every time that happened, I would actually take accountability that I let her have a drink too late at night and didn't make her go to the bathroom before she went to bed. We have a very healthy relationship, and I find this whole thing to be retaliatory from the initial eviction that started on March 10th.
Anything else you want me to know, sir?
The only other thing, Your Honor, is I do have concerns, as was stated, that with Miss Robertson moving, that obviously I understand, but with Alina being pulled out of school again, I do not agree with that. She's doing very well in school at where she's at. I do agree with that. But I don't think it's in her best interest that she should be pulled again from school within, say 7 months, 8 months, to be pulled twice from a different school and put into another one.
What are you seeking?
Okay, he sounds just so reasonable. So much more reasonable than she does.
What would you like the court to order?
Well, what I would like the court to order, Your Honor, or at least accept, is in our initial order, which I know was from your predecessor, ma'am, but was Judge Smith, which was on in 2019, that once I successfully completed a spousal deferral class, that custody would be a week on and a week off basis. Now, in the meantime of that order, I did not complete that course. Mr. Robertson and I reconciled and we moved back together. And since then, I have when I got arrested January of this year, the 5th, since then, which I believe, ma'am, it was April 17th that I actually completed that course. And I would like the court to take that into consideration or in lieu of the spousal deferral class.
I've never heard anybody say that before. He means lieu, in lieu of. Lie you? Oh, how could you go through your life and not? Oh, oh my goodness. but he's saying it how I guess you would say it if you don't know any French. Liu, Lieu, Liu. Oh my God.
17th that I actually completed that course. And I would like the court to take that into consideration or in lieu of the spousal deferral class.
Describe the course that you took.
Well, it was basically, ma'am, understanding anger management.
Here's the thing, though, he understands the use of the word perfectly. Very, very appropriate use of that term. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, I understand that I learned a lot of words from reading as well, but I also learned I watched a lot of TV and screens as I got older. And so I've had, I guess, that luck. Um, but again, he's using it in the exact right context, which is in lieu of something. So instead of, or in place of. And I think he actually is using it properly. I've just never heard anybody, and he said it quite confidently. Like, that's the other thing, is usually if you're saying a word when you don't know it so well, you maybe would try and find a different phrase, right? But no, he used it. I mean, it sounded to me like he's used that before, and maybe nobody's ever corrected him.
Well, actually understanding anger.
How
And
long did it
basically
last?
it was 5 sessions total. That's an hour and a half on there. Well, that would also include my initial meeting with Mr. Alexander. So it's
Okay.
actually 4 in the class. There was a private one-on-one.
And I know I'm taking testimony at this point, but you've referenced something that I'm aware of, and it's in the order that was signed by Judge Smith back on April 26th of 19. And he said specifically that you, sir, shall actually attend and successfully complete the Betterers program with Brene Moore. That is a 52-week program. It is an extremely long program. That is a very specific thing. The Betterers program, I know at times there have been 26-week versions of it as well. But either way, it's either a half a year or a year-long program, not a 4 or 5 week program. And Judge Smith was very specific on who it was to be with. And it wasn't just for the sole purpose of you could do this if you wanted to. He said you shall attend. That was actually part of the order, and that you were to provide documentation of that, and then your parenting time would change. Now, that was 4 years going, 4 years ago now, that happened. You agree you've not completed the Batterers course?
I have not completed the course, no ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else you wanted to say, Mr. Roberts, before we go on to any questions by Ms. Robertson?
Just the last thing that I want to say, Your Honor, is, like I said, I take accountability for my contributions to our toxic relationship. I do. Since then, I've been focusing on parenting, being a good father, providing a stable home for our child, for our daughter, and hopefully soon to be son. And I want to be able to co-parent with Miss Robertson in a positive fashion. I don't want to waste any more the court's time or Miss Robertson's or my time with this matter.
Well, Bud, I really don't think it's you that's wasting the time. I'm gonna say that. Uh, I'm gonna say that you probably don't need to worry about being the time waster in this scenario. Uh, Of course, that's allegedly in my opinion, but I think you guys would agree with me here. He he took the short course in lieu of uh I mean he did. You're right. He did take that short course in lieu of, and judges are sticklers for the words. So when a word says shall, actually I heard a judge the other day explaining this to somebody, and I can't remember where I was listening to this, but she said he said, "The doctor never said I had to do this." And she said, "No, doctors are not in the business of ordering people into treatment. Judges are in the business of ordering people into treatment. And so when a doctor recommends something and the judge says you will follow their recommendations, that is how that works. But no, you're not going to have a doctor say you have to do this, X, Y, or Z, because it's not the way that doctors work. It's not in their mandate in the same way."
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Robertson, similar as I did with Mr. Roberts, it's not a time for you to respond to what he had to say. It's a time if you have questions. So do you have any questions for him?
I do. I have one. Or
One, or I doubt she has one. I'm gonna go with more than one for sure. How many questions do we think she's gonna ask? Let's keep track in the chat. Go ahead and put and see how many questions you think that she's gonna ask and what in the chat. What, 51, Vicky? I don't think 51's it. Will it be an actual question? MB says. That's a good one. Nancy says 100. Jonathan says 2. Mayor says 6. Cellulite Yoga Pants says 4. Deborah says 4. Kind of what you thought. 6 questions. Oh, I was muted. I was talking to somebody else who was bitching at me about something else while I'm live. Trying to just, do the YouTuber thing. 3, Donna says. MB says 3. We don't have a bunch of time and she doesn't know how to phrase a question. You're true. That's very true right there. She could be a problem. It's like they think I'm talking to them, but I'm not.
a
Go ahead.
couple. Okay. So April 17th was our court hearing for the ex parte, correct, Dustin?
Correct.
You told the courts that you were going to evict me on April 17th. You told the courts that at the ex parte hearing, correct?
Yes, I told the court that you were served on March 10th an eviction notice, and you filed a motion on March 17th.
You told the courts at the end of our conversation when it was ending and we were closing out, you said, I am going to be evicting her because she's still at the house, correct?
No, I said that the process had already started.
Okay, well, they do write everything out.
Again, just questions now.
Okay, yep. Did Courtney get served the following day from a server?
Oh, Courtney, that's a weird to just jump into the third person. Isn't it? That seemed like such an odd time to jump into the third person. We're on the fourth question here. Fourth question in the third person.
Because you had to go to the courthouse and say, Courtney is still there. We are going to proceed with the courts to file the eviction through the court process now because Courtney is still there past April 10th because it's March 10th to April 10th. And you told the courts that I was still there. Did you follow through with having someone come to serve me on April 19th saying, Courtney,
you're served, you have a court hearing on May 1st for a court eviction. Yes or no?
No, my counsel may have, however, that was for 30 days was already given up. That's where
I
you
have no
set a date.
other, I have no other questions. I was served on April 19th from a server who
Okay.
had come to the house.
Not a
I
time
have
for me
no
to hear
questions.
testimony. I'm not doing that right now. All right. Bye.
Okay, did you guess 4, ladies and gentlemen? 4 questions. Convoluted, yes. Contrary, yes. A little creepy, yes. But 4, count them, 4 questions. We may get a ruling. I can't believe that she is yeah, leading as hell, Jonathan. Just like literally like shoving the answer down the throat there. Um okay. We have 11 minutes and 42 seconds left in this hearing. I didn't expect that Dustin would be so succinct, especially in responding to Courtney with a K and her questions and her comments and her commentary that seemed to go on all the night long. So I don't know what's going to happen here. I am hopeful that we might get some actual ruling from the judge here. I still don't really know what either of them want, to be honest. But let's see what we get with in Liu.
My clock, it is 4:45. I have staff that I need to get home by the end of the day today.
Wait, is that a humble brag by the judge? I have staff at my home that I need to get home to. No, she means there are staff in her office that need to get to their homes, but I choose to believe that she has a huge dinner party to go to this evening.
Want to hear from, before I get to this, I have referenced the psychological evaluations that I have. It will be my intention to provide copies to each of the parties for you to review them. Mr. Roberts, do you have all 3 copies?
I have the 2 physical copies, and then late last night, Miss Robertson did send me some digital pictures of her report.
So yes, you have all 3?
I believe so. Well,
Okay.
I have Alina's myself and Mrs. Robertson's. It looked like there might have been 2 pages missing out of the.
Yay, Mayor! Congrats, Aquanet! Oh my goodness, what a day for gifting. Thank you so much, Mayor. Um, awesome, 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 awesome possums.
Digital.
Okay. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that both of you has all 3 psychological evaluations. And I'm assuming that you are going to stipulate to their admission to the court, but I want you to have them and review them before we get to that. So I'm going to be asking you that at the next hearing. Okay. I'm not
Okay.
admitting them today. As I said, I familiarized myself with them in the hope that maybe we could reach an agreement. But I want you both to review those. It would be typical that the court would take those into account. But we could also have testimony about them too. Dr. Haugen is hard to reach, so I don't know that that's going to be possible. But I am interested in hearing from at least Michelle Gallipo from DHHS on her part of it. So I am going to continue testimony from her. In the meantime, I have to do something between now and the next hearing date. I am going to be issuing some orders based upon the testimony that I've heard and my review of the file. Not surprisingly, they're not going to be a whole lot different than the direction were being taken when we first were having discussions out of my hearing, because I shared with my staff some of my thoughts prior to this hearing and asked them to see if we could get an agreement on some of these things. Parenting time has been ongoing since January. I understand that it was difficult and that it may still be difficult, but I have not heard that there has been any violence during those visits. And I am going to continue the prohibition of alcohol. And in fact, I am going to start testing Mr. Roberts, as we had talked about doing with the family preservation track. I am going to ensure that there is no alcohol use during visits. Visits are going to continue as they have been, but I am adding that component to it. So Mr. Roberts, even though you have not embarked upon the family preservation track, the testing is going to be similar. And I am going to be looking for you to be negative for alcohol before you are going to be able to have a visit, understanding that alcohol stays in your system for several days. So you won't, we aren't just going to breathalyze you. I want a test. I want an idea of how often you are drinking. In addition to that, when is it Alina? I keep calling her Alina and I apologize. When Alina
Yes, it's Alina.
Okay. When Alina is at your home, Mr. Roberts, I expect there to be no alcohol in your home. I want this to be a safe place for her. I want her to trust where she is going and not be at all concerned. I believe from what I've read and what I've heard, there is a correlation between alcohol and violence as far as your history. And I can see why a child would be concerned if she saw alcohol. And this has been something that has happened in the past. I am ordering that the minor child begin attending individual counseling. I'm going to let Ms. Robertson find that counselor. That can be somebody near you. Both parties will be entitled to information about that counseling, but I want that to start immediately. Eventually, I think this is going to turn into a situation where there is some counseling that involves both parents as well to improve relationship and deal with issues so that the minor child can get over some of those hurdles. As Ms. Robertson has indicated, she is done with this relationship, but Alina is not. Alina still has a parent in Mr. Roberts, and we need to improve that relationship every way that we possibly can. I strongly encourage you, Mr. Roberts, to complete the Batterers Counseling course. I think it's even more important given the events of last January. This was not the isolated incident leading to the March 19th order. There's been another serious incident of violence between the parties, and the Batterers Counseling would go a long way. At this point, I'm not ordering it, but that would do well if you would get that done. I still, as I said, want to talk to Michelle Gallipo and perhaps other individuals from MDHHS. I'm going to be reviewing the file. If either of you have people that you would like the court to subpoena and have here to question, I would like you to submit that list next week. You can just send that to the court and we will follow up and I will issue those subpoenas. I'm going to be conducting further hearing anyway. And so I want to hear from everybody that you think is going to be able to shed light on this situation. And I will not make a final decision in this case until after I have spoken to Alina. I will do that at the very end. I won't, my preference will be to do that in person at the courthouse. I know that's going to involve some driving, but we can hopefully get that figured out. It's just a better situation when I can be face to face, especially with a younger child, to have that conversation. That will happen between me and the child, and my court reporter will be there, but nobody else will be in the room. That's how that is done, and that is confidential. And I will take into account what she would like in this situation as well. So that's how this matter is going to go forward. I'll start with you, Mr. Roberts. Do you have any questions, sir?
Not at this time.
Thank you. And Ms. Robertson, do you have any questions, ma'am?
I do. I just have questions about moving.
Yes, thank you. I left that out. You may move. You may
Thank
move.
you.
And I agree with you both that actually you both said it's not great to be moving kids again. It's unfortunate. But I think it's a necessity in this situation to improve your living situation. And the semester break. I'm not sure exactly. Sometimes it falls right at the Christmas break. Sometimes it falls a little bit into January. My suggestion would be that you use that break the best way that you can to try to get a fresh start for the rest of the year. But I will allow your move. I wanted to make sure I said that, so I'm glad that you asked. I know, Mr.
Okay.
Roberts, you're not happy about that, but I have lots of things to factor into this. It's not feasible to have her go back to Jonesville. Um, and she's been doing well at her charter school. I'm sorry that that can't continue, but I understand the situation that you're in, and you cannot have hanging whether or not you can get your kids to school. You've got to have your own way to get that done, and I appreciate that. And so that move can happen.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
One other
So,
thing that I forgot to say, I understand that Lansing may be taking care of this, but I have a sibling in this case, and I think it is in Alina's best interest to know whether or not her brother is Mr. Roberts's child. And so I am going to order paternity testing of Jackson, I believe is your baby's name.
yes.
To determine paternity. So that will be part of this order as well. I'm going to speed that along so that we can get an answer for you, Mr. Roberts, as to whether or not you are that child's father. So that will happen as well. Anything else,
Thank you.
Ms. Robertson? Anything that I've left out?
So what do I do about the court hearing that's happened, or like a Zoom that I have on the 27th for Jackson in Ingham
I would
County?
go call them and tell them what I did. Or maybe
Okay.
you're going to get a copy of my written order. And when is this hearing?
It's on the 27th. It's a Zoom.
December?
Yep, December 27th. It's a Zoom. I think
Okay.
it's like just to ask questions.
I would just appear and let them know that I've ordered it in this case, and they'll do whatever they're going to do. I guess it could get ordered twice, as long as it happens at least one time we'll have an answer.
Okay, and then okay, so Alina just is gonna have to continue this out.
Yes, for now, but
Okay.
she's going to have a counselor to talk to, and the counselor is going to be giving us feedback on how things are going, and I think it's going to help things. And so
Okay.
I'm putting that safeguard in place because I want her to have somebody that isn't the two of you, that isn't necessarily one of her siblings, somebody that she can talk to that is neutral, that will eventually be able to go back to the two of you and talk about the issues that needs to be addressed. I know one of your concerns is that Mr. Roberts isn't owning any of the violence. Well, I've heard him owning it today. I've heard him taking responsibility for it. And that may go a long way in a therapeutic session with you, both of you there and your daughter, for her to hear that. And to hear
Okay.
that these are things that we're going to do. And I rely heavily on counselors. I think they can do amazing things if we can get them involved in the right ways. And you both have been very willing and open about this. And I think this is open to a good solution that is going to make everything hopefully better. You two aren't going to be together. That was a bad combination, but hopefully we can move things forward so that your daughter at least feels safe when she is with both of you.
Okay. And then also, sorry, I don't mean to like make time go on. I totally just forgot. But it also says in the order that each parent shall be able to talk into video chat each parent and like talk to the child. And so Alina wants me to call her. So I'll call her, and I got her a cell phone. But sometimes when I will reach out to Dustin to say, hey, Dustin, can I FaceTime her off, my phone with your phone? He'll tell me no. And so I just need that to be restated, that each parent is allowed to call to talk to the child.
I expect that to happen. I think it's a two-way street. Mr. Roberts, you should be able to talk to the child when the child is with Ms. Robertson. Ms. Robertson, you should be able to talk to the child when she is with you. I think it's a daily thing.
Okay, thank you. That's all that.
Every day.
Yeah.
And that needs to happen so that she knows that she has contact with both of you. Any
Okay.
questions, Mr. Roberts?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. We will get this
Okay.
order prepared. I wish both of you a very wonderful holiday, and we will get this rescheduled to continue into the new year. Have a nice afternoon. You're all set for today.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, I think she'll abuse that too. Usually the judge will say you're capped off at 5 minutes per day, especially for a 5-year-old. You don't need much more than that. That was insane. A few orders, but really not ideal. I would definitely mark my calendar, want to watch the rest of that. We want to know who Jackson's father is, right? We need to know who Jackson's father is. Um, Guys, seriously, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all the gifts. Thank you for all of the support, the love, and the comments. They all are helpful to me. Please make sure that you have clocked in for your shift by hitting the like button on your way out. Make sure that you check and make sure. Thank you once again. And remember that I love you. I'm proud of you. And I will see you tomorrow. I might even do some day court tomorrow since there's a bit of a vacuum. We'll see. I love you guys. Bye. We'll test out how Canadian internet works during the day, shall we? Bye. Oh, thanks. I'll have a good day.